So guys, this is a head of, I think Rao TR is the nickname of the guy. So the eyelids are kind of okay, although the eyes are pretty big. And probably the eyeballs. Let's see the eyeballs, by the way. This is not an eyeball. This is an eyeball. Oh, it's a little bit too big. I mean, it has to be almost 1/3 smaller. And yeah, the nose, we notice. This part of the nose here on the top of the nostrils is too much in, like this. Not good. Also, make sure your head from the top, this part is smaller. So in this case, it's a little bit smaller, but it's also a little bit more angular than it should be. Especially in these parts here, we have to smooth it out. And also, the ear is not very well made, it's okay. And the overall face is too wide. It shouldn't be that wide. You see from the bottom, and see the girl from the bottom. The nose is just on a plane like this. It should be more, you see it here? It should be more like this. So this part should go forward, not here, it should be here. And that will make it, the nose go inside the face. The lips should go way over like this. Yes, and they will push in here. Then the cheekbones should be not so wide, and the overall width of the front of the forehead should be smaller. So this should be narrower. And from the side view, as you probably noticed, the head should be kinda different shape. The top of the head shouldn't be here on the front. It should be a back here. And this front part should go down. So let's do this. Let's first establish our shape of the head more. Then the lower jaw, I would like to make it a bit better. Then this kind of very fat parts in here, which are okay, but not so much. We have to be careful with them. Also, the mouth will go in and round, more round from the bottom view. Then the lips are going like this, because this should go forward. Let's see if it goes forward, if it will be better. It's a bit better, but we don't have, it's still a duck lips. So let's put some meat around the mouth and smooth it, but don't smooth it exactly in the corner of the mouth. See what's happening. Okay, it's too much. I will flatten it, because when it's too much, it's too much. It's not good. And then we have to take care of the cheekbones, or the cheek fat here. It shouldn't be that much most of the time. It depends on the people, of course. Most of the time, not so much. The chin a little bit bigger, and the overall jaw and overall front face narrower. You know, this kinda has to go like that. Yeah, I'm flattening a little bit the sides here. I'm making them flat, just to see how it will work, because yeah, they will not stay that flat, probably. I will do a little bit, but this kind of making it simpler will help us to determine our forms. We have to know the planes of the head mostly. So now what I see here is that the forehead is kind of too huge. I want to make it more flat. It shouldn't be as huge, and also it's too wide because of the eyes, mostly. The eyes should be smaller, because the eyeballs should be smaller, and everything should be narrower in here. And this way, we'll have a better look of the head. Now, starting to look better, but the nostrils are too much forward, so let's put them back. And this distance between the nostrils a little bit bigger, and like this. Should be fine. We'll see how this will work. And the lips, but the distance between the lips is very flat. So, yes, hear me out. There are people like this, but if we try to do something more, you know, generic, we have to make a little bit. And then the lips should go a bit backwards, because they were too much in front like this. It's not good. We should be careful with the duck pose. How to get rid of the duck pose. I have to make a video of the duck lips in our sculpts. I have to make a video about that in my channel sometimes. I'll see. It's a good idea of the video. Because the duck lips are always a problem, especially when people are trying to sculpt female. Now, the nostrils, too big. And overall the nose, as we established, has to be wider here. We have to establish the top part of the nose, this front plane. Then a little bit of a, bump here. This front part of the nose a little bit wider, but not too much. So I will decrease the size of the nose overall. And it's a good thing that the nose is pointing upward, because it looks more like, a girl's face a little bit. Girls have more upward noses, we may say. It's more feminine feature. Although there are guys with that feature who looks like guys, so it's fine. But still. So she started to look like a friend of mine, a colleague of mine from Gameloft, so yeah, a little bit. She's a kind of pretty girl. She's small and she has like this small face, which is cute. And it's fine. We can deal with, we can live with this face for now. And let's continue on the eyes. So, the eyes should be a bit more backward in here and a little bit forward in here, but I think they are fine. Just the bottoms of the eyelids, don't make them too pronounced. This line here shouldn't be that huge and that sharp. Only in very, very stylized models maybe, but you have to be careful with that too. So a little bit fat in here and smooth it. Let's put these corners of the mouth in. And overall, maybe, and always will be nice. Now, what I'm noticing here is my eyes are still too big. I will make them smaller. My nose is a little bit too long. And the overall shape of the mouth, everything is too much forward. So, let's try to fix those things. So, I will move the ears back. I will move the mouth back. Like this. And then I will move the nose up with the mouth a little bit. Alright, I think it's starting to look a bit better. Let's see if our focal length is 89 is fine. Everything above 85 is fine. So usually I use 80, 88, but if it's 89, it's absolutely fine. As long as it's not below 85. Below 85 is not fine at all. So let's make sure that our cheek fat here is making the specular. You have to watch the specular, by the way, when you sculpt especially. You have to watch where the specular do, because the specular is kind of showing you the forms. And here what I see in the 3/4 view is that I have to push back a little bit these cheekbones, because from 3/4 they look too sharp and pointy and forward. If that's our purpose, of course it's fine. If that's our concept, it should be fine. But most of the time, it's not. So, more times than not, it's not. So here I will add a little bit more meat on the outer side, and on the inner side I will dig a bit, just to see if it will work. And then I will add a little bit more meat in the bottom, but I always am careful from the side view to not make this. And now this I don't like, because from the 3/4 it's starting to be too visible. So I will flatten it, and I will try a bit more to push a little bit below it, instead of adding more meat to it. Because if I add more, it will start to show too much, and I don't like that. So I have to establish my front part of the skull in here a little bit, and then cut this area. Make sure I have these two bumps in here, which are very, 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 very slight. So very careful. Now they are too pronounced, so I'll flatten them. We don't want them to be too pronounced on the forehead. Now, what I will do is I will squeeze the head. This always works, by the way. When you squeeze the front part of the head here, you squeeze it a little bit in. I will smooth this. And let's make a little bit of a traps. Traps are always nice to have. Don't overestimate or underestimate the power of the traps. Now, the head from the side view is awful. Still, it doesn't look good. So I will try to fix it and to make it better. This is a bit strange. But okay, let's make the traps and smooth them because they are tiny and flat, as more muscles. The most muscles in the female body and head are tiny and flat. And this looks female-ish and cool. Okay, making this front part in here of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Make sure it's not like this, the neck. Very careful with the neck, by the way, because it has to be kind of flat down. Kind of straight down like a vertical line almost. And then the neck should go down. On the female, the traps shouldn't be as visible. And here they are a little bit more visible, so I will just hide them. Smooth. And then we have to make some ears. And we will be almost ready. But before we are ready, I need to make this crease. Because the crease is going up to the end of the eye here. Around this area. The crease is almost to the end. Not completely to the end, but almost to the end. Now I see from the side view, from the 3/4 view I mean, that my nose is not very good, so the nostrils, they need more work. So I will smooth them. I will inflate this or increase the size between the upper points of the nostrils and make a middle line of the nose. Smooth these areas here. And this forehead is still too huge, so from the bottom view I will just try to improve it by flattening it and making it narrower and narrower and narrower until it disappears in the oblivion, or until it looks good, at least. Yeah, maybe we don't want it to disappear in the oblivion. That will be kind of awkward, but the idea is that our eyes are still too big. So big eyes and big eyeballs to begin with are always a big problem. Smaller eyes, smaller eyeballs can be a problem, but not so much as the big ones. But everything is a problem when it's not the proper size, we may say. So that's why making a head, especially female, is difficult, because everything should be moderate, proper sizes, and cool looking. Otherwise, you are doomed. It will not look like a female, it will look like some kind of a strange male or whatever. It usually is like that. So we have to be aware of that. Too aware. I will add more meat around the mouth and maybe push the mouth more in. So we have this kind of a muzzle of the mouth. It will be nice to have it. And this fat around the mouth, maybe I will kind of dial it down and make sure the cheekbones and the overall shape of the lower jaw is nice. And then let's go to the ears, because they are now our weakest point. Everything else looks more or less better, but the cheekbones are very weak point. Not the cheekbones, the ears now. Let's see our head from the side view. Even me, that I am kind of experienced, I need to look at references. And you see the back of the head should be smaller. And maybe longer, but smaller overall. And the neck should be wider in the bottom, because it was narrower in the bottom than in the top, which is not exactly a good position to be in. Now, be careful, because when you are smashing the neck or the head or everything, it could get squarish. So you have to go and kind of cover the edges a bit. But here, from the 3/4, we see it's very bad. So we'll have to fix it. I may from the front also make it better. Push the eyes down. And then let's go to the ears now. Now we will go to the ears. The ears, put them in. Make sure we have this bottom part. Make a line in here just to make sure they are in. They are not out like this, because this will be even worse. So they have to be in. From the front view, you don't see this part of the ear in here. You don't see it from the front view. But right from the front view, if you tilt your head a little bit, you start to see it, of course, but only on one ear. On both ears, you never see it together. That's the thing. Never. Except with the system of mirrors, maybe you will be able to, but I'm not sure. And with system of photographs, let's say it's possible. But you know, this inner portion here is always like hidden. Both of them are hidden together at the same time. You can see one, but not the other at the same time. Because they are in the face. Now, let's make the Y part. The question is why this will be the Y part. Okay. And let's pull it back a little bit. And we, of course, may watch the ear of our reference, which will be a smart decision. Because it's a cool ear. And it's a beautiful girl, I would say. Very beautiful. So we are okay with that. When you search for references, make sure, if you want to do a beautiful girl, to find references for beautiful girls. Because, for example, if you want to do a beautiful girl and you find references for male fighters, it will be bad. Because it will not happen. So make sure your references are what you want to do. Exactly. Otherwise, not a very good idea. Now pull the ears up, push them in, but with a little bit smaller grab brush. And then this part of the head I will kind of increase. Let's see. It's looking relatively fine, but you see, it took me 17 minutes for it to start looking relatively correct. Then I will very, very lightly kind of go in here and just push a bit and then pull. Just to see if it will be nice. Okay. You see this all inflation here of the female, it's pretty cool, but we have to not overdo it. If you overdo it, it will work against you. So it has to be moderate. Everything has to be moderate. Don't try to do a female like you're doing a male. Very like hard strokes and big bumps and whatever. Even in male, this doesn't work very well. As you probably have seen from all the, feedbacks that I've done. No. Okay, I think she's looking great. So, let's fix a little bit here. I want those to be closer together. And we will be fine. Of course, no, it doesn't look good. I will inflate this area and make sure I have something like a clavicle here. Just something that looks like a clavicle a little bit. And probably this will be the better choice. Yes, like this. Alright. Now we are talking. Okay, the ear from the side view is kind of on point. The top of the head on from the side view should be a little bit forward, so I will move it. Because the top of the head, we know it's above the eye, above the ear. It's not here on the forward. It's not here on the back. Although this looks pretty cool. Yeah, but you can do this kind of things when you already have a nice model. It's not a problem. And when you know all the, all the things about modeling a head, it will be easy to do this kind of stuff. Kind of alienated heads or whatever. But first, let's go to the basics. The basics are the more important. Now I shrinked the lower jaw, make it narrower, and again I will shrink it because I just made it a bit bigger. Shrink it and make it more flat and you know, with a better shape overall. Here I will flatten this because we don't need it to be that pronounced. And we are kind of okay. Let's take this and put it on the side. And let's go with the original head just to see the difference. You see, there are a lot of differences, and the appearance is still kind of similar. I mean, they look like a real person, and somebody had tried to do a little bit of a sculpture of a real person, something like this. So, okay, the next, I think, will be the final feedback. Then we will make a kind of a wrap-up video, and then a goodbye video, and we will end this course, which I thought it's useful for you. But always watch it again. Don't just leave it like this. Watch it again after some time. So, bye for now.